Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time. I hope that everything is as it should be in your world and in your life. And no matter where you are on this wild planet we find ourselves inhabiting at this moment, I hope that you are able to keep out of harm's way while the earth just does her thing. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been looking up some stuff on what's going on around the world. There was a massive landslide in Burundi swallowing up whole families. Just boom, gone. And I'm so sorry about that. So please, hashtag pray for Burundi. There's been a few landslide situations around. I know Japan is getting record snow. Parts of Europe are getting record snow. And the United States has 46% of the contiguous states are having snow right now. That is the largest percentage, I believe, in history. So, contiguous means just not including Hawaii and Alaska, even though Alaska has record snow as well. And I wouldn't even doubt it this moment if Hawaii also had record snow. This has been a really crazy year with the Bombogenesis storm off the coast of California that keeps regenerating and sends a rain in and regenerating and sends rain in. Off the coast of Cape Mendocino today was a 75-foot wave. 75 feet. Not only is that unheard of for winter in California, it's unheard of, period. Never freaking happens. Never, ever happened before. I myself, personally, I witnessed some waves. It was just south of Santa Barbara, maybe about an hour south of Santa Barbara. My friend and I went, maybe it was an hour north of Santa Barbara. We went back to Santa Barbara. And he wanted to go surfing, and we went to this place. He said, this is a killer surf place. We went, the week of Christmas a few years back. 25 years back. But who's counting? And we got there, and he's like, holy mother of God, I'm not going into that water. And he's standing there, his surfboard going, oh, hell no. He put his surfboard back in the van, and we sat there for hours while we watched surfer after surfer after surfer catch 25 to 30 foot waves. Blew us away. And we knew it was going to be big waves, but we didn't expect that. We expected 10, 12 feet, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, no, that's suicidal. I can't do it. And so we just got back, we had lunch, got back in the van and went back down to Santa Barbara and had a lovely weekend. But 30-foot waves was huge. I mean, and in fact, I think at that time they said the biggest wave ever was 36 feet. So this is like double almost. Okay, so 75 feet off the coast of Cape Mendocino in Mendocino County, California. Unbelievable. And by the way, the snowfall, the sheer amount of snow on the ground in the United States right now, across the country, has now reached what they expected for the entire year. 95% of that fell in the past week. And it's just begun. This snow season just began. But they've already received 95% of what they were expecting for the whole frickin' year in 1 week. Think global warming isn't real now? Yet? Because it always leads to a mini ice age. And I'm looking at this going, oh my God. The sun at the top and the bottom, there's no activity, but yet it kicked up a lot of solar winds that came our way, and that's affecting a lot of our electronics. Also, there was somebody, I want to say, was it Metaphysical Mike, I believe, said on YouTube, he put a note out to his subscribers. He said, his higher guidance said that there's so much high vibrations among us all that we have been working so hard at raising our vibrations and getting us all, humanity all, into the fifth dimension. And because we've been working on it so hard, and we continuously keep working on ourselves so hard, that what happened is it's affecting all of our phone batteries. Like, things are going haywire. Like, people are like reporting on his comment even that their phone will be like at 68%, like it's normal. And then a couple seconds later, it's down to 16, and they're like, what the hell? And I told you guys what's been going on with my phone. It'll be charged 100%. I unplug it 5 minutes later. It shuts itself off because it says there's no battery. And it's like, excuse me? I plug it in, and 5 minutes later, it's back up to 35. The other day it happened, it was back up to 75, and then in 5 minutes, it was 100 again, as soon as I stepped away from the phone. If I sit next to the phone, it takes hours to charge, if at all. I have to shut it off, and then I have to leave the room, and then it'll be like right away it's charged. It's like, is it me? I put the phone next to all my crystals, hoping that would help. And I put that next to my duende, which is on my Instagram, Mermaid Girl 888. It's my Instagram account. But yeah, it's just like crazy. It's like, what the actual hell is going on with all the phone chargers and these solar storms, and there's all kinds of cosmic rays coming our way, and it's all affecting anything and everything, GPS, anything with radio waves. Like, the whole planet's being affected right now. It's not like we haven't been hit by a CME, which could really just knock out electricity and everything else, but it's just like those weird little annoyances. Like, it's like, why, my battery, I just plugged it in. Like, I can't believe this is happening again. So, I don't know. I have a lithium battery. It's supposed to be like a battery, like, good for like years or something. It's only been a year, and it's wonky. So, I don't know. But this bomb cyclone thing around Thanksgiving week, it's just the 75-foot wave off the coast of Mendocino, Cape Mendocino. Not only did that happen, the conditions outside of the coast of Oregon, they were saying it's like hurricane conditions off the coast of Oregon. Now, Oregon is known for getting some pretty rough waters. There's a lot of, what's it called? Riptides. And when you go to the beach in Oregon, there's like huge signs saying, do not swim in this water. It's very dangerous because of the riptides and certain times of day. The way the moon pulls on the earth, it can really affect it. And so we know, just, hey, you go to Oregon Beach, you sit on the beach and you don't go in the water. Lots of sharks. Also, a lot of great whites up there. It's up in, like San Francisco area on up. A lot of great whites in the water. You got to be careful. Just, know about the sharks, but because they like that cold, cold water. And, but I'm just like blown away by this. Like the landslides. There was a landslide here in Cuenca this week. If you're listening to this from Cuenca, up in the Mal del Rio area, it said in the newspaper, there was these people, I guess they decided that they wanted to somehow make their own wells. And so they decided to just go ahead and dig a hole and collect rainwater, which made the whole mountain drenched really quickly. And that chunk of the mountain just fell down. Duh. I mean, really, duh. We've had a lot of rain here, not snow, sorry. Rain, a lot of rain here too. It's just been raining like nonstop. But kind of drizzly raining right now all day. It's not been heavy rain, but in the past week, we've gotten a lot of days of super, super heavy rain. I don't mind it though. It's kind of pretty, and you just wait for a break in the rain to go outside, grab a taxi, and wherever you're going, it won't rain until you get there again. It takes, we get breaks here. It's not like constant, but some days it's been really bad the past week or two. It's been really, like the thunderstorms, when that happens, boy, we had that a couple weeks back. It was crazy. But anyway, I was telling you guys yesterday about some emotional stuff that I had going on, that we all have going on. It's like a constant barrage of energies that help us release, loose, and shake free from us past memories, and bringing up memories that we've repressed, which is like, what the hell? Like, some of the memories I remembered, I was like, dude, no way. And so I've been processing that, for the past day or two. And, for the most part, I'm over it. It's just like kind of shocking, some of the stuff, like, wow, I can't believe that happened. But it's like life here, just, it's like, it's crazy. It's a crazy place we decided to be at. That's all, But I was glad I was able to let it all go, and I did. And I don't know if I have anything else left. I think I asked my higher self, no. God said, no, that was it. That was the last of it. The last of the Mohicans as far as the bad memories. I only had a few repressed memories, which wasn't bad. I mean, I'm sure I've repressed conversations I had with people that irritated me, but over the years, but nothing big. Like, I know we had a falling out, or I know we had that argument, we made up later, but whatever, those kind of things doesn't really stick with me too much. Nothing really, there's only a few things that stick to my ribs, right? Like the storage people just totally, not contacting me, breaking the law, knowing I'm out of the country and selling all of my stuff so they can make a whole bunch of money. Ridiculous, totally ridiculous. But, I am writing that book about the loss of that. And it's cool because I waited, and now I'm getting different information. And I was kind of told to wait. So I'm not going to release the book until I have all the correct and right and true information about it. But I was thinking today about how up until the Paradise Fire, so it was about 4 or 5 years, I kind of secretly regretted not getting this house that I really, really wanted in Paradise. And I would have lost all the stuff anyway. I would have lost my life in that house. I'm sure of it. I know for a fact, because my youngest would have been in school, in that school there, and his older brother might have been with us, might have been in San Francisco, so it might have been me and my oldest, or just me, in that house, and that might have been the end of it. So I would have lost it anyway. And the whole loss thing was something that everybody on the planet has to go through. Everyone has to lose something major. It's got to loose us up from the energy of the material world, of the 3D world. We have to get rid of our connections to holding on to so much material, because we're going into a world that's less dense, So it's been crazy, though. I mean, just thinking about that. And I was thinking about today because PG&E reached a settlement agreement, $13.5 billion. They're going to have to make a reparations towards all the people that lost all of the things and the houses. I don't even think that covers the emotional damage as far as I'm concerned. Tens of thousands of homes burned to the ground because they were irresponsible with their freaking equipment. I mean, when I lived there, and I saw the writing on the wall when I lived in Magalia, just north of Paradise, and I called them and I said, other cities bury their lines in the ground. That would be safer. We would have less fires and less power outages. It would save your company millions of dollars. And you know what? I would have saved them $13.5 billion if they had just only gotten a bond from the government or something and decided to bury all the lines back in the day. Would have saved 87 people from burning in the fire and dying. Would have saved literally that entire town of Paradise. All the places I used to work, because I used to be a rover. I would do, I worked for a company and I worked in 20 or 30 stores as a merchandiser. So every week I was in a different city or a different store. All the places that I worked in burned. All of them. One I think maybe stayed. I think it was okay. Everything else was just done. Everything burned. All the stores I used to do merchandise in Paradise just gone. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Literally I would have lost my house, possibly my life, and definitely all my work. So it's but everyone would have, everyone lost everything. And it's not just that, there's people all over the place have lost everything. And I've heard story after story after story, and people who kept all their crap together, and then their business partner ends up being a jerk out of nowhere, and then they lose everything on that level. I've lost everything in my life, and in some ways I feel lighter. In some ways I feel a little bit guilty about things, but there's nothing I could have done. It's things that just could not be helped. It is what it is. But for real, just it came crashing down again today with the $13.5 billion settlement. That's some really crazy stuff right there. I couldn't believe that. I read that news report today. I was like, no way. But that's good though, because I'm really happy, because my friend Kyle lost his house. He freaking hand built his own house. He lived in a trailer and by himself built a house, a 2-story, maybe it was 3-story. I think it was 2-story with a balcony on the roof or something. I kind of can't remember all of it. There was so many features. He did the cabinets by hand. He didn't buy prefab cabinets and put them in. I mean, he did everything. It was a gorgeous house on a big piece of land. And he just, he's been so sick. He's been sick about it. God, I lost everything. He wrote me, he's like, I think I need to maybe move. Tell me more about Ecuador. Well, yeah, this is a beautiful place. Beautiful place. There every now and again there's a fire here, but it's not here, not where I live, but you hear about it. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not like we have a fire season, because we don't. We don't. But I've had a lot of people just write me and just people that I was friends with back then. Thank God they all got out. They're all alive. Even my old neighbor, I saw her interviewed on the TV, and I was, thank God Nicole's, she's still alive, because she got out and she got interviewed by the news. I was like, oh, thank God. Some of the people I'm not even in touch with anymore. My street where I live, where my kids grew up, that street is still completely okay. So at least our old neighbors are all okay. But it's just nuts, when you look back, and it's and a friend of mine told me about 6 years ago, and she's really famous, actually, a really, really famous person, a household name famous. And she said, You know, a lot of people are going through this like homelessness phase. And it's like almost like a new phase for adults in the United States. And it's just weird. But it has nothing to do with your karma or your inability to function as an adult or something. She said, it's not really your fault. It's just something that everyone has to go through. And there's reasons spiritually for it because of the stuff coming in the future. And now looking back on them, I'm like, oh yeah, I see it. All right. Yeah, okay, I get you. And so I've been contemplating on that. I've been contemplating also on Elizabeth Paglini, God rest her soul, bona fide card carrying witch. And she used to be interviewed by Art Bell a lot, and she was talking for her predictions for the following year, and she said, you know, I've seen my own death, and I'm not going to be around to be here for this, but I see in the next few years what's going to happen. And she talked about this. She said, the storms that are coming, you have no idea. The floods. Right now in California, they're expecting tomorrow flash floods. Southwest U.S. and also throughout California, they're expecting flash floods. They see it coming. They just see it. They see it in the weather, and there's nothing anyone can do. It's going to happen. Brace yourselves. You know, but Evelyn Paglini said there's going to be not one person that will not have an absolutely devastating loss coming in the near future, in the next few years. And I remember when she said that, I was like, oh God, please spare us. I just put my kids to bed. I was listening to Art Bell with my husband, and I'm like, please spare us. So I had no idea what was in store for me in that moment, but I remember praying about it. And did God spare us? No, God didn't spare anybody. A lot of people have gone through this. She said in the United States specifically, like she said, people in the United States, they have no idea. Everyone's going to go through a devastating loss. You know, I didn't program it. I didn't expect it. I expected to be saved from it. I'm a good spiritual person, right? It has nothing to do with that. We all had to go through something massive, something major, in order for us to let loose the connection to that dense 3D world. And we did it. We did it. For the most part, we're still reeling from the loss of it. And the losses are crazy. It's we're reeling from it, a lot of us, a lot of people. My friends specifically who almost died in the fire lapping their cars. They drive down that road knowing that their house is gone and everything they own, and the clothing they were wearing is all they had. You know, like my friend Jeremy was wearing his hoodie in a picture on Instagram the other day, and someone said, hey, I have that same hoodie, and he goes, yeah, it's the only thing I had when we escaped the fire. And I loved this hoodie. I'm so glad I wore it that day. I had no idea I'd come home to nothing. You know, it's like, and he's like, you just it's like you don't appreciate your clothes. You don't appreciate, I mean, some of his clothes, to be honest, it's good they probably burned. I'm just kidding. In case he hears us. We're always burning each other. That's a good burn. Get it, burn. All right. But no, it's just, he's like, yeah, you just don't appreciate it. He said he cried for 2 weeks when all the families had gathered up clothing and donated it to the victims of the fire. It made him cry. He was just like, it just humbled me so much that I suddenly had to be a charity person, victim of the fire and a charity. He's like, you know, he's one of those people that got out on his own as a teenager and just was always super responsible and helping other people. He was always building houses for Habitat for Humanity. You know what I mean? Like, just completely really good guy. And, you know, when it comes to helping other people, being there for the community, trying to plan ahead and try to figure out what to do in the cases of various disasters, he wanted to be at the forefront of always helping people. And he and I used to go to the Granger meetings together to talk about how are we going to grow enough food to feed the community in the event that disasters happen and trucks can't get in with the food. Like, you know, we were always talking about this kind of stuff. And then I can't believe he freaking moved to, like, paradise. You know, everyone's tempted by living in the trees, and then you live in the trees, then there's a fire, and then you're like, oh my God. But the town was there for 100 years. It's not like you're going to expect it's going to, you know, burn the hell down, you know. It's crazy stuff. But anyway, yeah, but 13.5 billion, so I'm glad that they settled. Anyway, I had gotten over a lot of the stuff and these weird childhood memories that I had repressed that were like massive revelations, like, kind of. I mean, it didn't affect me. It affected me for a day or two. Now it's over. Now I'm like, okay. And I woke up to this morning and there was a hand on my back, pushing on my back. And yet no one was here, just me. I had a pillow behind my back, but it was like a foot away from me. And I'm like, you know, and I started asking, is there any spirits in here? Answer was no. Is there anybody with me? Answer was no. And my son walked in and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm all, so there's like a hand on my back. And I'm like, oh my God, it's my Kundalini again, right? I'm like, okay, my Kundalini rose 19 and a half years ago. And once it raises once, it keeps going, right? So every now and again, you'll feel another raising and another raising and another raising. And sometimes you just get like little bits. It's almost like when you look at a video of the sun and the sun is like the little solar filaments come out and then it goes back into the sun and then comes back out and goes back into the sun. That's what it feels like to me. It's that kind of electromagnetic type of energy is what it feels like. And but today was really different. And I'm like, okay, God, you got to explain this one to me, because this feels like a massive Kundalini raising, similar to the first time it happened, even though it was never, no two Kundalini experiences are alike. Not in one person, not in many people. Like, no one has the same exact. So that's why it makes it super interesting to me. I love to hear people's Kundalini raising stories, because it's like, what? No way. It's so awesome. But it felt like a hand on my back, and then it started pushing up slowly. And I was like, oh man, since I opened up my 12 chakras, my Kundalini didn't raise up to the 12 chakras yet. Oh my God. I don't know why I was thinking the Kundalini only raises to the 7th chakra, and that's it, because it's in the physical body. And then God's like, oh no. There's yet a whole other experience you didn't know about. Yeah, this wasn't talked about. This was not talked about in the mystery schools I went to. I mean, maybe it was later on and I didn't finish the lessons. Maybe that's what happened, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe the people that wrote these weren't, maybe they had 7 chakras open and not 12, or maybe they had 8 but not 12, you know what I mean? Or maybe they had 12 open but not the Kundalini that went through the 12. I don't know. I never heard of this before. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on uncharted territory. I didn't read about it. I'm a bookworm. I should have read about this. But no, nothing. So I just sat there and I breathed and I breathed and I focused on my crown chakra, my third eye area, until it got to that point. And then I focused, then I'd focus, when it got to the third eye, I focused on the crown, got to the crown, focused on the 8th chakra, focused on the 9th chakra, focused on the 10th chakra. And then I thought, oh no, now the energy's got to go below my feet. That's where the 11th chakra is. And I was like, I'm not going to panic, because I want to keep it going. And I'm like asking God. God is my guide during this whole thing, because I do this dual attention thing, constantly connected. And God's like, okay, so it's okay, but while it's going below your feet, focus on the 10th chakra and then the 12th chakra above it. And I'm like, okay. So I went slowly and breathed and breathed and breathed. And the whole thing, it all flows. And it's like flowing now. And the energy flow of it, after you hit the 7th chakra and the Kundalini hits the 7th chakra, it comes out of your head like a fountain and comes back down and goes in your feet and comes out of your head like a fountain. And now you become like a miniature planet, right? The way that the magnetosphere around the Earth goes. And, you know, if you've ever seen that picture about the magnetic waves around the Earth. So that's what happens when you hit your 7th chakra and then it comes back around. Well, and then it goes from there, when you've got your 12 chakras open, then it goes to your 8th chakra up, a little bit up, and it kind of still doing the same thing, doing the whole magnetic thing. And then it goes to the 10th, and then when it goes to the 11th, it goes all the way around. So it comes down to the 10th, and then it goes down to the 11th. And it has a weird, I don't know how to explain it. Just, it has like a kind of like a little bit of a switchback. So then it goes down to the 11th and then switches back up and goes, it doesn't go through your body. Somehow it goes through the chakra of the 11th and then comes back up to the 12th. I have to draw it for myself and figure it out. Maybe I could explain it different. Anyway, my son's like, well, maybe that means you won't be sick anymore. I'm like, I'm a little feeling run down, but I'm better overall. My energy is better. Been crying a lot today. I'm releasing a lot. I think I might be pulling in energy and information from other people as well. I know I'm connecting to other people's sadness and channeling it through my body. It's like, you know, so God, please stop that. Okay, God said, all right, fine. Let's stop it for a while, like for 24 hours, because I'm trying to get better, and then I'm still channeling people's energy. You know, and it's like I'm used to it. But then the sadness it's like a hit so much more. And I feel like it's people who I'm emotionally more close to, you know, when I take their stuff in more. Because usually I'm able to just channel it up, channel it out, blah, 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 blah. Like if someone who lives in the apartment, like below me or above me or something, I don't deal with other people's pain like that anymore. So when I feel other people's pain now, it's just the people that I'm the closest to that I'm willing to take the hits for now. And by the way, speaking of hits for, you know what? This is something that I wanted to see if I could find it. Jude Dekoff sent me this thing the other day, and I'm going to look it up on Facebook or on my messenger here, about crystals. Have you ever had a crystal that was just the same forever, and then all of a sudden it just broke out of nowhere? Like you drop it, but not very far. Like you're taking good care of it, and then, you know, you put in your purse or something, then all of a sudden it's broken or wherever. It's like so completely crazy. Let me see. He sends me so many pictures. It might take me a minute to find it, but he sent me this thing that really blew my mind. I was like, no way, this is a real thing. This is so cool. All right, let me see. Oh yeah, here it is. I found it right away. Yay. Now check it out. It says, if you lose or break your crystal, this is from Soulful Vibes Company. This is what they said. If you lose a crystal, it is said it's because it no longer serves you. And you don't need to regret the loss because it has served its purpose with you. And I remember when I read that, I thought, you know what, maybe that's the same thing for all of your stuff. And that was the realization I had before my Kundalini raised, like the day before, was again. And it was because all the stuff that I had a memory attached to me and my ex-husband. Would have held me back energetically. So even though I lost all my stuff and I regret it, I don't regret it in a way. So I do feel lighter, even though I'm sad about some of the things. But, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, all right, it sucks, but all right, fine. It's like, but it's still, it served its purpose, and now it's over. And it's really hard to tell that to a fire victim who lost their house. But energetically, maybe it's time for something new. upgrades, stuff like that. And also it says, also, if a crystal breaks or even chips without physical damage to it, but it's got a chip in it, it means that the crystal has taken a hit for you based off of the needs the crystal met in your life. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but does that like totally make it a little bit like, wow. That blew my mind. And I've been meaning to read that to you guys for a long time. And I just kept forgetting and then get to the end of the interjection and like, oh man, I forgot that thing again. But anyway, I remember today. And so that's because everything is in perfect and divine timing and you needed to hear it. Some of you needed to hear that specifically. So don't fret if you lose a crystal or one breaks or chips. Now you know why. Because I've got this crystal here that's like, it was so powerful. And I remember it being longer. It's so weird. It was like, I don't think that it broke off. I'm looking at it now. I remember it being longer. And I don't know what happened, but pieces of it have fallen off. And it's black and white, like this tourmaline. It's a very fragile stone anyway, but boy, this one has really, really served to clear energy. It's one of those, it's black and white, and the black part, it banishes or it pulls in the negativity, right, from all around it. And then the white pushes positive, it transmutes and pushes the positive energy back out into the environment. It's one of the coolest crystals. And then right next to it, I've got another crystal that's constantly clearing and clearing and clearing. But I decided to make a Genesis crystal today out of, I don't even know what this is. It's like grass. It smells so good. I love the smell of this grass. I know that when I was a kid and I used to dance Hawaiian with my cousin Gina, we had grass skirts that were fresh grass made from the grass in Hawaii that grows there. And this has the same exact smell to it. And it's like, it just brings me back to that, like smelling that fresh grass skirt, just sitting there waiting to go on stage wearing my dress grass skirt. And it was just, I used to perform. I was on TV when I was a kid performing this Hawaiian dance. It was really fun. And okay, when we moved, I couldn't continue with lessons because in Minnesota, nobody knows how to dance the hula or Tahitian. I learned Tahitian dancing and the hula, and I love it both. I love both of those. But anyway, lots of stuff going on today in the Schumann Resonance news, and I'm shocked because of this one surge in power, and then the rest of them did not surge in power, but actually kind of went down or stayed the same. So it was kind of strange. But as you know, all the cities do different things, all the different places. And so I've been really tempted. I've been thinking about figuring out how to put together a Schumann Resonance machine of my own. I'd like to figure it out. So I'm told my son I want to do it. I figured out it's really technical, so I have to get him involved because he's very good at mechanical stuff. And I have a mechanical mind as well, but not like him. He's very, very smart when it comes to this stuff. So I'm like, we're going to have to do this together, and then we can report from Ecuador and put our science out there once we get it going. It'd be super interesting to me. Anyway, Schumann Resonance News from disclosurenews.it. 10:30 in the morning, their report was, today's graph began in a condition of general calm until 3 a.m. when the variation started. Immediately, they reached power 32 at 4 UTC time. The movements then continued with less magnitude until 7:45 a.m. UTC time, when some impressive movements started and reached power 100 in around 15 minutes. Which, like, yeah, good. Welcome to the club and the rest of the cities in the world who's been way above that. But okay, you know, I'm like reading this going, all right, cool. And then it says at 8 UTC, despite this impressive value, But really though? Really? Okay. It is still not the maximum for today. At 8:30 a.m., the amplitude has further increased and reached an incredible power 158, which is the most powerful peak of the last 2 years in Italy. So it's not even the most powerful peak in the last 2 weeks, as far as the rest of the world is concerned, in the HeartMath.org people, but okay. But that's still, like, for Italy, that's like super impressive, right? 158, damn. So in addition to the main amplitude graphs, the massive variation can also be seen in the other 2 charts, with the quality, which shows a value of 25, and the frequency of the Schumann Resonance, which shows a value of 8.8, which does not make a whole lot of sense, because wasn't this whole thing the Schumann Resonance? So I don't know, but I mean, that just puts it slightly above like what it was in the third dimension. 8.8 is like above 7.83. Like that statement made me confused. But anyway, moving right along. At 1700 evening report, after the incredible amplitude spike at power 158, other strong movements continued. The period of activity in which amplitude has been above 100 Hertz frequency lasted 1 hour from 7:45 to 8:45. At 10:30, so like only 1 hour. All right, fine. And then at 10:30 UTC, there was a further flicker at 28 Hertz frequency, after which a slight background activity continued. Oh, okay, so just, like 1 hour. So one teeny tiny spike lasted 1 hour, whatever. Okay, let's see. Let me look at the graph. Oh yeah, it's just a little tiny bit of activity. All right, so it was above 100 for an hour, including that one spike. And then bada boom, bada bing, whatever. But still, that's like for Italy though, for their readings, that's like quite a bit. And when I go to what's going on in the rest of the world, it's actually not as impressive as normal, actually. I mean, yesterday the biggest spike was in Hululu, South Africa. They were up at 141. And yeah, I think the biggest, actually they were up at 166 Hertz frequency in South Africa at noon on the 4th. And then they were to 141 yesterday at 6 o'clock in the evening. But they've come down quite a bit. And so what's going on right now is in California at midnight today, they were at 47 Hertz frequency. By 5 a.m., they had gone down to 44 Hertz frequency. In Hafuf, Saudi Arabia, they're still at 0 all the way across. I literally just think they lost that machine. That's just, they didn't fix it or something. Because how could that be for so long? But you know what? Remember, we thought that same exact thing about Hululu when it was for 12 days at 0. And then it started spiking huge. And just a few days ago, it was at 699 and then went up to 700. So before coming back down. So there you go. But Hafuf is still at a 0. Now, it's been 100 amplitude in Lithuania at midnight, but they went back down to 95 by 5 a.m. In Alberta, Canada, they were at 76 at midnight Hertz frequency, and they went down to 72 Hertz frequency by 5 a.m. In Northland, New Zealand, they were at 93 Hertz frequency at 0, and they went up to 105 by 5 a.m. And let's see. Yeah, and then 124 Hertz frequency in Hululu, South Africa at midnight. I almost said at 0. It does say 0, so I'm like at 0 o'clock at midnight. And they went down from 124 to 118 Hertz frequency at 5 a.m. So there you go. There you go. All right, so in A Course in Miracles, acim.org. We are still doing the review. This is, again, for the Foundation of Inner Peace. You could always go look them up, acim.org, or have your own app on your phone that has all the same exact information. And it's absolutely free. It's always free. There's no copyright to this work. They kind of screwed that up when they first published it and then handed out like 100 copies, and then they tried to copyright it. Crazy, right? The Copyright Office just... So I feel like it's all divine providence, you know, and because it's not copyrighted, it's like spread out throughout the whole world. You know, if you ever put a book out there, copyright it. But this was channeled through Jesus. I think he did that on purpose. He somehow... I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him. If he manipulated the situation where they'd like forget, or I don't know, maybe they just forgot. You know, they were so busy about this, you know, excited about this work, which I don't blame them because it's amazing. But okay, lesson 178 is where we're at today. And there's the theme running throughout this whole review. We're going to say that statement 3 times, and then the 2 main thoughts of the day. God is but love, and therefore so am I. The first thought of the day is taken from lesson 165. This is the first review thought, and here it is. Let not my mind deny the thought of God. Let not my mind deny the thought of God. God is but love, and therefore so am I. The second thought of the day to focus on is taken from lesson 166, and here it is. I am entrusted with the gifts of God. I am entrusted with the gifts of God. And by the way, that's gifts, G-I-F-T-S, not GIFs, G-I-F-S. Sorry, I don't think I'll pronounce the D there. I am entrusted with the gifts of God. God is but love, and therefore, so am I. All right, well, there you have it. Now, when we come back, we're going to go a little bit off the beaten path, and I'm going to give you some gentle reminders of some of the past shows I've done, and some other things. I wanted to go over all the different ways that you can prevent the common cold, and if you get the common cold, what you can do to lessen the effects of it and increase the healing of it, basically, right? Okay, yeah, God said, we're going to talk about the common cold today. I'm like, really? And we didn't do this before? And he's like, no. And I'm like, are you serious? That's like so weird. I thought for sure we did this. I think I mentioned little bits and pieces of it in the introduction over the past few months. Like, hey, by the way, this thing will work. Hey, by the way, that thing will work. Bada boom, bada bing, la la la. So we're going to just talk about just ways to stay safe and stay healthy. I mean, throughout Europe right now and many parts of Asia, there's massively crazy weather, whether it's typhoons or hurricanes or like massive rainfall or horrible amounts of snow. So it might be appropriate to go over it. So I'm going to go and converse with the Prime Creator about this because, you know, the dual attention thing. And he's going to give me a list of things to remind you of. You know, because I know when I get sick, all I do is I drink a bunch of tea and use Vicks Vapor Rub incessantly. And then that's about all I do. And I know all these things we're about to go over tonight, and I forget them. When you're sick, you tend to forget them. So if I do a show on it, you can always turn to the show if you get sick, first day. And you start sneezing your head off, oh no, I might be coming down something. Let's listen to that show, write everything down. Quickly go to the store before you start feeling too sick and get it all. Or you could get it now, have it on hand, and, you know, according to Murphy's Law, then you won't get sick at all and you'll just have all the stuff on hand. I mean, if you're Irish especially, Murphy's Law really works for me. I should have had all this stuff on hand. All right, so we're going to go over it right now, right after these messages. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you. Alright guys, Prime Creator helped me come up with a list of 11 ways you can prevent the common cold, followed by 11 ways you can speed it up a little to get rid of it if you do get it. And anyway, let's start with the prevention side. The prevention side, number 1 is just eat right. That's like the biggest thing, right? All organic food. Grow it if you can. Buy from your farmer's market to reduce the cost of it. Do whatever it is you can do to have the highest quality food. Buy organic at every turn. Superfoods, he was telling me, as many superfoods as you possibly can eat. Like, blueberries, acai berries, or goji berries, moringa. Moringa is like a superfood, absolutely amazing superfood. Leafy greens, he's saying definitely eat a lot of leafy greens, like kale with berries in a smoothie. It's excellent, and it helps prevent illness. I know this, but I didn't do it every day, and look at me now. So let my life be an example of what not to do. No, actually just as many leafy greens as possible. Even spirulina, and which tastes absolutely terrible to me, but if you mix it with cacao powder, like chocolate powder, it makes it a lot more tolerable. And also, oh gosh, I see it in my mind's eye. It's that other green one. It's actually wheatgrass powder is really tasty. Actually, it's almost like drinking water that's like a fresh green water. It's weird. You could mix that with moringa, and that would be like a superfood. I dare say moringa is a little bit better though. But God was showing me images of like pecans and walnuts. So as many nuts as you can. Not tons and tons, but just, 7 almonds a day, just a little bit of almonds and pecans and walnuts. And he's saying rotate it out of your diet, though. Rotate it in, rotate it out. If you eat it every single day for a couple of years, you'll end up allergic to all nuts, and that's nuts. You don't want to do that. But just so have it for 1 week and don't have it for a week, and then, maybe have it not for 2 weeks and then go back. Peanuts are not really included in this, though. So he's showing me like walnuts, pecans, however you want to say it. Macadamias are good too. The oil in nuts is very, very healthy for you. All right. So little or no carbs if you're trying to lose weight, or you're afraid of gaining weight. Carbs aren't terribly healthy for you, but if you are an athlete or you're trying to gain weight, then go for the highest quality carbs you can, like the highest quality rolled oats, the ones that take a long time, not 1 minute. Oatmeal is good for you if you are trying to gain weight or you're an athlete and you expend a lot of energy. If you're extremely rigorous in your daily routine, like if you're out there all day pouring cement or, running marathons or whatever, then definitely, just go for the highest quality carbs. If you're like a vegan or a vegetarian, be really careful, like with your protein. Have a lot more than you think you need, because you don't really take in as much protein as the food. Like for example, I think, what did I hear? That an egg is 7 grams of protein. Well, your body will not absorb all 7 grams of that, but you need 24 grams, I think, of protein a day to be healthy. So if you have an egg, then now that's you're going to absorb like 1.5 to 3 grams of protein. But you got to look this up, because I don't have all this stuff down. I know the same thing with steak, though. Even if you do eat meat, if you have an 8-ounce steak, that's not 8 ounces of protein. It's like 4 ounces of protein is what your body absorbs. So you need to eat more, not necessarily more steak. If you eat an 8-ounce steak, that's fine. Don't eat more than that. But go ahead and start having other forms of protein as well. Greek yogurt and, eggs and, high quality protein. And don't take whey protein and think, oh, this is super high quality protein, it's all I need. And you have a bunch of scoops of it, because you know what? Whey protein, hardly any of the protein actually gets utilized by the body. I mean, you could have like 4 scoops of it, and only half a scoop is what your body will take in. So go look at Dr. Berg on YouTube. He's got the information on this. It blew my mind. I was like, really? If you eat an 8-ounce steak, that's not 8 ounces of protein? That's what I thought it was. This like solid protein. And apparently it's not. Your body won't absorb it. It's not just because it's animal protein. Actually, the plant proteins, your body absorbs even less of the plant proteins. And he has the studies and everything if you want to look into that more. But so be careful with the protein intake. Everyone needs more. If your hair is falling out, my hair started falling out because I stopped eating as much protein, and I'm really irritated by that because I need more meat. I need more, and if I don't have enough, it just falls out in clumps. And so annoying. So I need more protein. So I know when I screwed up in my diet over the last few weeks because I was upset emotionally about some stuff, and I've just been going through some stuff, which I'm fine now. Actually, I'm good today, thank you God. And I just I dropped the ball on my diet, and there you go. Here I am sick, blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of it was because I was starting to get sick, but all right. And that can affect you. Like being sick can affect your emotions, and your emotions can affect you getting sick, obviously. So, number 2 prevention thing is vitamins and minerals. Get a very good high quality vitamin supplement and a separated out mineral supplement, because if you get like the over the counter in a grocery store vitamin mineral thing, it's not going to be enough of what you need. So you have to get something super high quality. I recommend Puritan.com, Puritan's Pride. They have excellent vitamins and minerals, and for a lot cheaper than what you would find anywhere else. Or you could go to your local health food store. When you do this, especially at Puritan's Pride, look into colloidal minerals. It's liquid, and you just drink like half an ounce every single day. It tastes like cherry flavored dirt. It's terrible. Just drink it on down real quick. Follow it with a water chaser, or put it in water and drink it and prolong your pain if you want. I don't know. It's not that bad. It's honestly not that. It's almost like a cherry-ish flavored iced tea mixed with dirt. It's not as unpleasant as I'm making it sound. It's actually pretty pleasant. I can't get it here. Otherwise, I'd be doing colloidal minerals every single day. It will help you regrow your bones. Okay, the stuff is so good. So that's that. Now, colloidal silver is number 3. We're putting this in a different category because this kills germs, but only have 7 to 12 drops per day. Some people go overboard and then they turn purple or blue like a Smurf. Their skin turns kind of a silvery color. And I did talk about that. I actually think I did an episode on blue people. See, there are blue people in the galaxies, the universe, but that's normal for them. When a human turns blue, not quite so normal. So, but God has told me that will prevent it. Just 7 to 12 drops of colloidal silver per day. So I know where to get it here, so I'm probably going to have to go conversate with someone about that. He was also saying apple cider vinegar. Okay, he's now telling me 3 to 4 times a week. 1 tablespoon in a glass of water, just drink it down. That will keep your stomach able to do your I'm sorry, tell me what you're gonna say. Yeah, he's like, well, yeah, digestion. It helps you digest at the proper pH your food. Okay, so if you get on that I have to be an alkaline body kick, and you start drinking alkaline water, and then you start putting baking soda in your water, and then you're drinking that down, you are ruining your digestive system. So don't do that. Apple cider vinegar. It's a fermented food. It has vitamins and minerals in it. It will make your stomach the perfect pH. You can make your own apple cider vinegar. Only takes a month. Go buy a really good health food store one with a mother in it. They call it with the mother. It sounds insane, but you'll see what I mean when you pick up a bottle of this. It's kind of a cloudy look, and it is very healthy for you. Very, very healthy. So number 5 on the list is gut bacteria. You have to increase the super, super good bacteria in your large intestine, okay? In your colon, and that's like lactobacillus acidophilus and all the other ones, not just the one, you need all of them. So with that, how you do that is you could go get a supplement with all the different bacteria in it. It's weird, throughout the US, all you get is like lactobacillus acidophilus, or that mixed with 2 or 3 others, like Thermophilus. And what's really insane is in Latin America, I've never seen lactobacillus acidophilus like anywhere. Even the yogurt here is made with like Thermophilus and different gut bacteria. It's so crazy. It's like, where's the lactobacillus? Seriously, if I go to the US, I'm going to go grab some, because it's like, what the heck? I've been able to find really high quality Greek yogurt here with all of the good bacteria, except that one. And it's like, why is that one not in it? I thought that was like the best one to have. And apparently people here live without that. I don't know. It's so strange. But what I found out is when you eat fermented foods, that will also increase your gut bacteria, right? And it will give you the gut bacteria and reintroduces it back. So making your own sauerkraut, your own apple cider vinegar, You could pretty much ferment anything. There's a magazine I talked about, a couple weeks ago. I think it's like called My Fermented Foods or something. Let me see. I might actually have, I don't know. I don't have it anymore. I don't believe. I'm looking it up here. All right, I just found it. Yay, I didn't collapse the frame or whatever it's called. It's called myfermentation.com, and it's a magazine online, and I think it's a magazine you can buy and have them deliver it to your house as well. This magazine, it's like microbes plus time equals food and drink. That's what it says here. They tell you how to literally just actually ferment anything. They even talk about how to ferment peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Weird, right? I didn't know you could do all this. It seems to me it would just mold, but they have the secrets on how you gotta keep a clean house, right? Have a very clean house. I can't do it where I live because I have, there was already mold when I got here, and it's like impossible to clean, and it's a whole long thing. So I do have to move. We're figuring it out, but yeah, just any kind of fermented foods. Fermented foods really, really help get that gut bacteria thing going again. And what food feeds the gut bacteria once it's there? Leafy greens, broccoli, any kind of green vegetable. Moringa feeds the bacteria in your gut because you want them, the good bacteria, you want them to stay there. If they get overrun with yeast, then you're going to have all kinds of problems. I know because that happened to me, unfortunately. I was eating all kinds of leafy greens, but I had too much yeast in my system. Like for years, I finally figured it out. This past year and a half, I figured it out and I overcame all of it, and I still don't have any problem with it anymore. So thank you, God. But yeah, the gut bacteria for sure. The fermented foods, my God, that is one of the best things you could do for yourself. I mean, pickles, olives, I think you could do anything is fermented. You can make all kinds of stuff into fermented foods. Chocolate, if you make your own hot cocoa that you make it fermented, it ends up being really healthy, and it can actually cure stomach ulcers. I talked to one of the top chocolatiers in Mexico, and he told me that his friends that had stomach ulcers actually cured them with his fermented chocolate. And it was like some of the best chocolate I ever had in my life. I was blown away by what he made me. He made my kids and I hot chocolate, and it was absolutely free. It was just because he was bored, and it was like late at night or late in the evening, and he was just like, I want to show you something really cool. And then he got to practice his English with us while we drank his delicious hot chocolate. But you can ferment anything, so look into that for sure. All right, let's see. And number 7 is really obvious, but just go to sleep when you're tired. When you feel sleepy, just go to sleep. Don't force yourself to stay up. If you're out with friends and you're tired, tell them, look, I think I need to sleep. I need to listen to my body. I have to honor my system, so I gotta go. Love you, and see you later. When I'm not so tired, that will prevent, especially this time of year, because we all have that weird internal hibernation clock, I call it, where your body puts on a little bit extra weight because the snow might be coming. I always hated that one. And then you feel super sleepy, super early, and then the sun's going down at a different time, and you're just everything is nuts, right? Just sleep when you're tired. Get enough rest. Get as much rest as possible. Try to sleep at 10:30 to 11 o'clock at night. Try not to go to bed after midnight, which is exactly what I'm doing right now, so damn it. Yeah, I keep saying I'm on California time, but it's still at 1 o'clock in the morning California time, not working out, so... All right. Number 8 is bundle up. Bundle up. Keep yourself warm and safe. Understand that when there's germs around, they all fall quickly even if they're airborne, viruses, all of it, they fall to the ground and they're on the floor. So don't hang out on the floor. Don't lay on your carpet and roll around. Don't, put your baby on the floor. Oh my God. It's like, even if your floor is clean and new fresh germs came in, guess what they're going first? They'll roam around the air for a couple seconds and fall to the floor for the next few hours until you clean again. All right, so just be aware of that. So bundling up, keep your feet off the floor at all times. Take a lesson from the Latinos in your life, okay? I've heard this from many different cultures, Latin cultures in Latin America, Central America too. Like my mom, my grandma always said, keep your feet off the floor. Don't ever put your feet on the floor. And I've heard this from several people. And I never heard this when I was in the States. No one really said this to me. Most of the people I knew growing up, like, walk around barefoot all the time and things could get inside your feet. My friend's mom got a parasite in her feet because she was at the beach barefoot. I was like, oh my God, that's so creepy, right? So keep your feet covered. Keep slippers on your feet or flip-flops. I've got my flip-flops here, and when it's cold, I wear my flip-flops with socks because, there's no fashion police in my apartment. It's like not at all a good look, but it is a very good prevention of getting sick. Keep your feet off the floor. Keep your neck and your head covered when it's cold out. Keep your back warm always. My Latino boyfriend, my Peruvian boyfriend from like 3 years ago, he was forever telling me, how come your back isn't, you have asthma, keep your back covered, keep your back covered. Because he grew up with asthma when he was a kid. When he was 12 years old, when he hit puberty, the asthma was over for him, thank God. And the testosterone kicked in, and bada boom, bada bing, no more asthma. Didn't happen for me. I still have it. They kept going, oh, she'll grow out of it. And then I didn't. So that was just crap. But I got the raw end of the asthma stick. But actually, he helped me a lot when he said, when he told me that. And I started finding out that other people were saying the same thing. Like, you have to keep your back always covered. Even at night, don't, wear a shawl, wear an extra something over your back. It's weird, if you never heard this before, but keeping your back warm at night always will help you to prevent more, worse things later. I keep my feet up off the floor too. I always wear my sandals. I never, ever walk around any part of my house without shoes of some sort. And I wash my shoes often. I just feel like I have to. It's like, it makes it better. So wrap up your neck and head, wear a scarf, A lot of cool scarves out there, guys. You could get pashmina for $10 at Rite Aid. You know what I mean? There's no excuse not to cover up with a really nice scarf. So there's something else that God told me, and I had forgotten about this. Do you know those warming pads that you could put on your lower back if your back is sore, and it keeps your muscles warm? And sometimes they have capsaicin, like hot pepper oil, and it takes the pain out of your muscles. But some of those pads you could put it across your whole lower back, and it will warm up your whole lower back for 8 to 12 hours. And it's like you just stick it on, it's like sticky tape. And you stick it on like your jeans or your clothing or your underwear, whatever. Stick it on the inside of your underwear. It's kind of weird, but it works, and it keeps your back warm. And God is telling me that if you work in a building and it's very cold, even in the winter, and they have heat, but it's not that warm, do this, and that will keep your blood flowing really warm, and that will help you prevent getting the common cold. I thought that was cool. I didn't know that. So that, I love those warming pads too. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know if you could get them here. I haven't even looked. He says, but don't do like a heating pad, like an electric heating pad, because that can have some other effects. So just like the heating pads that are like, you just stick them on the inside of your, you either stick them directly on your skin or like on the inside of your underwear or the inside of your shirt. Okay, basically. And keep it against your back at all times, for like 8 hours. It actually works. So number 9 on the list is hand sanitizer and Lysol. So basically what he means by that, the hand sanitizer, obviously, every time you touch anything, door handles, bathroom stall doors, grocery carts, when you're out and about, or when you're even in your own home, if you go around cleaning, if you like grab the trash and take it outside, don't come inside and rub your eyes, or touch your mouth or your face without washing your hands with soap and water and then putting hand sanitizer. It could be really, really bad. And the other thing with Lysol, he was showing me the image, which I do this. I spray all the door handles. I spray all the door handles in the house, like once a week or like every 10 days with Lysol. And also all of the things that you touch. The toilet flushing handle, a lot of people forget to clean that. Spray it with Lysol. Clean it, spray it with Lysol. And the handles on your faucets, even the knobs on your washing machine and your dryer, and especially your refrigerator and your freezer and your cupboards. Spray it all with Lysol. Seriously, cover your face. Don't breathe in the Lysol, but spray everything with Lysol, even in your bedroom, your door and drawer and closet handles. Just if someone in your house is sick, go around spraying all that with Lysol. Not like every day, obviously. Don't be a fanatic about it, but like if someone is sick in your household, once every 3 to 4 days, God's telling me. And just do it like once every 7 to 10 days if no one's sick. Just keep, those germs at bay. Like every time you clean your house, let that be part of your cleaning routine, right? All right, so now that's that. Hand sanitizer also, you can, if you're at high elevation, I always do this, not always, but once in a while, I put on my hands, I breathe it in while it's still wet. And that takes out inflammation in the lungs, and what happens when you're at high elevations. I'm at like 8,400 feet above sea level, so. But also, I've noticed that sometimes that can, it can kill the germs. So, if you're in a place where you have hand sanitizer in your backpack or your purse or whatever, and you feel like you want to prevent something, like, oh God, I was just around these people, just breathe in a little bit of hand sanitizer. Never lick it, but just breathe it in a little bit. I mean, don't just huff it for like an hour or something, but just for a couple of minutes. You can do that just to make sure. Now, number 10 is Neosporin. This is something that I don't recommend doing every single day. But if you are about to go out shopping in the malls, this is the time of year, a lot of people do that. You go shopping in the grocery store, when you're on airplanes or buses or anywhere there's crowds. The Christmas tree lighting or church, if you go to church or temple or mosque, anywhere where there's going to be a gathering, like a school play, got kids or your friends got kids and they're inviting you to their school play, or concerts. There's a lot of concerts this time of year. You take, the Neosporin, the ointment that you put on, that's kind of like, not the white one, but the one that's a little bit, it's a really weird color, like kind of a beige color, and it's like oily, right? And you put just a little bit of it, and you put it on your the tip of your finger, or on, actually better, a Q-tip, and you put it on the inside, coat the inside of your nostrils. And what this does is it kills all the germs as it comes into your nose, and it prevents illness. My old teacher, God rest his soul, Dr. John Kappas, who was the person who had the hypnosis school that I graduated from, and I learned directly from him. I've met people who went to the school after, and they were so jealous that I got to have his expertise while he was still alive, because he died like just not that long after I graduated. But he was telling me, no, he was telling everyone in the class, he's like, no, this is how you do it. He says, I travel 30,000 miles on airplanes every year, because he had clients in New York. They'd fly him in for the weekend so he could hypnotize them for $300 an hour. And because he'd been doing it so long. And he said he always prevented getting sick. He says, I very rarely got sick. He's like, maybe 10% of the time would I get sick. But before he started doing that, it was like every time he was on a plane, he'd get sick. And so he said Neosporin is one of the coolest things he discovered, was to do that. And God told me, yeah, that's something we should tell people for sure. And also, if you want to do something similar to that and you don't like Neosporin and you want to go more natural, do coconut oil with appropriate aromatherapy drops in it. Like mix it in and put that on the inside of your nose. And that will, like eucalyptus or peppermint. Peppermint might sting. Lavender, but it might make you sleepy if you're too energized. But you could do it, you could potentially, even chamomile smells really nice, and it has a chamomile essential oil mixed with, that can help. It can help prevent quite a bit of germs, right? But be safe with covering up your nose and your mouth with a scarf. When you go near other people, that's like an easy thing. Mix that with Neosporin, and that won't prevent it. All right, so on the other side of things, if you are sick and you're like, oh man, there's like 4 or 5 things I forgot to do. Okay, now I'm sick. Don't beat yourself up, right? So you want to speed up the end of the cold. Speed it up. Just like I Love Lucy. Speed it up a little. Yeah, remember the candy? All right. Yeah, you want to lessen the effects, and you want to speed it up and get to the end faster. Number one thing God told me, Rife Machine. Download that Rife app if you haven't done it already. It's one of the best things in the world, because it will actually just kill the germs immediately, right? Now, if you live in a house and you're not in an apartment building, right, you can turn this up on YouTube, Google Chromecast it to your TV, turn it up extremely loud in your house, and kill all the germs in your house at once. Oh my God, what a great idea. God told me that today. I'm like, what the heck? So when you're gone, just do all the programs, like every day do a different program for the common cold or flu or anything sickness-wise. And it'll kill all the germs that's in your house. Then go home and clean it up, sweep it up, So he said that would just kill everything, and then you just won't get sick, right? You might feel a little bit wonky if the broken up remnants of the cold. But the Rife is, well, go back to listen to my Rife episode if you haven't heard it yet. It's it literally shatters the cell walls of the viruses and the microbes, the germs, the bacteria. It's all just shattered in a matter of minutes. But there's programs that you could get on YouTube, and like I said, just send it, get the Rife app for your cell phone and play that near wherever, if it's a chest cold, don't play it on earbuds because your ears are not in your chest. Play it out loud. I know it's annoying. Actually, put cotton or something in your ears because it's super annoying, but play it next to your chest so the vibration will kill the cell walls of the illness, right? So use the Rife machine and the Rife app. Or, you don't have to use the Rife machine, but use the Rife app. That's all you need. And also get the Rife frequencies on YouTube. There's a lot of different people doing this. They're putting those frequencies out there. Yes, it's annoying. Cover your ears and let the Rife do its job. All right, so number 2, way to speed it up a little is drink a lot of water, and it could be hot water with tea and honey in it, but just drink a lot of fluids, especially after you do the Rife machine, because you want to get rid of the remnants and pieces and bits of the germs that are now broken up inside your body. You just want to get rid of them entirely, get things back to normal. So don't drink juice, God told me. I always thought drink juice, right? Because he said the sugar content will lower your immune system and it will prevent the end of your cold from happening faster. It'll just prolong it. I thought that was interesting. He said also don't put it on wheat. Wheat increases inflammation and mucus in the body. So a lot of people have like honey toast. He said don't do that. Avoid wheat 100%. He said forget that. But anyway, that's like number 5, so we'll get that in a minute. Okay, so he says drink a lot of water, whether it's cold or hot in the form of tea, and avoid juice like the plague, and avoid, obviously, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so number 3, he says, now check this out. I was blown away. He says, do drink Scotch whiskey. Whiskey or Scotch whiskey is even better. If you have 1 shot a day for 1 week, that's going to create the end of your cold much faster. He said because there are components in whiskey, a lot of them have not even been discovered yet. There's antimicrobial agents. Now he says don't assume that just because it's alcohol that you could do this with anything, like with vodka or beer or wine. He says don't do any of the other alcohols. But Scotch whiskey has components in it that are antimicrobial, and it will brace up your immune system. And only do this with a cold. Don't drink it every day forever. It won't prevent a cold. In fact, alcohol can lower your immune system and create a situation where you'll get a cold. But if you've already gotten a cold, he says avoid sugar, but drink 1 shot of Scotch whiskey a day, no more, because then again that can lower the immune system further. But he says there's agents in it, there's components in Scotch whiskey specifically. It's aged more. It's, again, like a fermented food, right? It's aged more. Scotch whiskey is aged more than normal whiskey. And he's saying try just 1 shot a day every day, and that's it. No more. And not the big shots, and don't. And he says you could just do it straight up or put it in water, either way. Now, number 4, just speeding that up a little bit, right? Eucalyptus rub, like Vicks Vapor Rub, or an off-brand is fine. Some of them are better than the Vicks actually, but eucalyptus rub with the mentholatum and the eucalyptus in it. That's essential oils. Those are essential oils, and they're suspended in the petroleum base. Now, if you want to go get these oils and suspend them in a base of coconut oil, or even sesame seed oil, might smell a little weird, or almond oil, sweet almond oil, never bitter almond oil, by the way, only sweet almond oil, or olive oil, God's saying olive oil. So if you don't want to use Vicks Vapor Rub or you don't have any, but you have menthol essential oil and also, anything with terpenes in it, he's saying, like pine essential oil and eucalyptus, you can mix those up. He's saying 3 to 5 drops in a tablespoon, 2 drops of each, so 6 drops in a tablespoon. Anyway, what you do with this is you rub it on the bottom of your feet, and right before you go to sleep, and you put your socks on, and the rest of it, if you have any left over, you rub it on your chest, and you could put it on your upper lip, and then you fall asleep. And when you wake up, your body will have absorbed everything. Your feet will be softer, and it takes the inflammation out of your lungs and out of your head, out of your throat, and it takes the congestion out as well as the inflammation, and you'll feel better and you'll feel more rested, and also it takes away pain. So if you have achy muscles, eucalyptus always helps. I just use a Vicks Vapor Rub. I have an off-brand actually, but I like the olive oil idea, mixing that. It's a little bit messier because it's oil and it's easier, but just you put it on. If you have the Vicks Vapor Rub, you just put it on with a cotton ball or with or like a cotton makeup remover pad. But I used to do is I would do this with my kids every time they got sick when they're really little, and they loved it because I was like tickling their feet. But I would do it with a Q-tip. I would put the Vicks Vapor Rub on their feet, the Q-tip, and make them laugh, and I put it between their toes, and they're like, oh my god, it drove them crazy, but they loved it. They thought it was so fun, and it kind of took their mind off the fact that they were sick. And then I put their little socks on, and white socks are better than other socks, but if you don't have white socks, it doesn't matter. I don't know why white socks they say is better, but probably because they have more cotton in them, and cotton is better. Bamboo socks would be the best, whisks away the moisture. But anyway, so now number 5, as far as wanting to speed it up and get rid of your cold, number 5 is food. When you're sick with a cold, avoid all grains and avoid all dairy. A lot of the grains, especially when it's wheat, increases inflammation and mucus in the body, and dairy, the same thing. And avoid sugar. Now, the whole time, avoid sugar. That's why God is saying forget the juice, right? People think juice is healthy, and it's not. He was telling me that vitamin C does not speed it up to the end of it just prevents it. If you have full spectrum vitamin C, it will brace your immune system and prevent colds. But once you got the cold, vitamin C is not doing anything, period. So, another thing you can do is, under the food, he said, apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon to a cup of hot water with a tablespoon of honey or a teaspoon of honey. Mix that up and drink that, especially if you have a fever. That will help get rid of it. That's what I heard the other day, and he was confirming that today for me. So number 6, binaural beats and or isochronic tones. He was saying 10,000 hertz frequency or 12,000 hertz frequency with the binaural beats. Listen to that while you sleep at night. While you're getting plenty of rest, use the binaural beats and isochronic tones. Love motives, all one word, love motives. It's my favorite one, but you might have one that you like better. On YouTube, just play that all night. Play it on speaker. Fill your whole room with the super, super high vibration of like 10,000 hertz frequency or even 12,000 hertz frequency. That will, gave me chills. He just told me that will shatter the cells of a lot of the viruses and microbes, as well as put you in a super high vibratory state, and illness cannot live or remain in a high vibration like that. Also, he's saying gargle with Himalayan salt. If you get really, really, really sick, and it's like right away, like right when you start sneezing and getting that sniffly nose, prevent the rest of the cold as much as you can by 1 tablespoon in very hot water, Himalayan salt, that pink salt. Mix it really good. And just as soon as it cools down enough to start gargling with it, and you put it up your nose with a neti pot, if you have one, or just a normal coffee cup if you don't, you just suck it up your nose and let it drain to the other nostril and drain out, or suck it up in your nose and spit it out through your mouth. Keep doing that again and again. He's saying do up to 2 cups in a row like this, and that will clear out anything that's stuck. Oh, and he just said xylitol. Remember xylitol spray? In the United States, you could get xylitol and mix it with bottled water that's heated up, and do the same thing with xylitol. That will also prevent allergies as well as cold germs that are stuck in your nose and throat. So I forgot about that, and he just told me right now. That was awesome. Thank you, God. All right, so number 8, herbal teas and herbs. There's a whole bunch of them that work, but we just went over a few of them. He says if you want, instead of coffee, you could have, you could just go get a bottle of guarana and just take the pills. Because if you always put sugar and milk in your coffee, you might want to avoid that while you're sick. So just do guarana instead of coffee. You know, like Red Bull is what the flavor of guarana is, but it has too much sugar in it, so don't do Red Bull. You could just go grab the guarana pills and just take the pills. They're like herbal. Maybe you could open them up and make a tea out of it, maybe. They're just like herbal, just at the herbal store, or, you know, the health food store. So he was saying that ginseng, that will help prevent, and as well as help you get through it much faster. Ginseng, and also he's saying oregano oil and olive leaf oil, there are preventions as well as will help you speed it up. They both taste terrible. They are horrible, but they do work. Olive leaf oil will help you get through cold really fast. Oregano oil will help you prevent it, but it's so spicy. He says put it in your spaghetti sauce. I agree. He says, but don't do wheat spaghetti. I also agree with that. All right, mint. Okay, this is what he was saying. If you have a cold already, mint, whether it's spearmint or peppermint, but peppermint is really helpful. Jasmine, ginger, and cinnamon teas. You could even you could put fresh ginger and sprinkle cinnamon, or even cinnamon essential oil in water, and that will help. Chamomile, and also always with honey for a sweetener, or stevia, avoid sugar. Chamomile tea also has a lot more minerals in it. He says has never even been discovered yet. No one's really studied it yet, but maybe some people have, but he says there's more in it than what you imagine. Orange spice tea with honey or lemon tea with honey also will help you get through it faster because you're drinking that water. But he's saying that there's essential oils of lemon and orange in those teas, and the essential oils from the peels is what it's an antimicrobial. Green tea also works. Green tea is very helpful, he said. There's a lot of antioxidants in the green tea. So there you go. Number 9 is aromatherapy. So if you want to stop the pain because you're having like pain with your head or pain in your throat or pain in your muscles, lavender essential oil, peppermint essential oils, eucalyptus and menthol essential oils. And you could also, again, put that in your, like in olive oil or in, to make a rub for your feet or for whatever. It helps you to sleep. It kills pain and kills germs, all of these. Most aromatherapies do, but tea tree oil, lavender, tea tree oil kills almost all germs, like even staph infections. It's really incredible. So just, you could put it on a little, like a half a teaspoon of honey, 2 to 3 drops, 3 times a day. Do that with like eucalyptus or peppermint essential oil. Just kind of mix it in there with the honey, and then just eat it down, and followed by like a glass of water. That will help. Honey itself, especially if it's raw honey, especially, is even honey with a honeycomb. It has natural antibiotics in it. So that's why he's recommending honey, not sugar. So you can put essential oils like mint or lavender inside a hot tea and then hold it up to your face and breathe in the essential oils for 10 or 15 minutes before you drink it. Then add a little bit more hot water and then drink it as tea, because it will be, it's volatile. Aromatherapy is very volatile, which means the oils will fly away. They're very delicate. And you pour them or put them in hot water and they will just fly away that much faster. But if you're breathing it in, it flies up your nose and helps kill germs, get you through the microbes faster to get rid of them. So just drop them in tea if you want, or you can put it on, like, one of my favorite things to do is put like the eucalyptus oil or lavender oil on a cotton ball and just hold it up to my nose and breathe it in. I love lavender. I could put that in my pillowcase and then put my face next to it and just breathe it in all night. That always helped me with lavender, and especially peppermint. That can cut a migraine headache in like 2 seconds. By the way, it won't cut it out forever, but it does cut it out so you can have a couple minutes of relief. So you can also put the aromatherapy in a hot bath, but I don't recommend doing a hot bath. Maybe if you did a hot foot bath, where if you're positioning your head in a way where you can breathe in the air of it, that can help, and it can absorb through the bottom of your feet. Again, you can do the foot rub thing with the socks afterwards, after you rub it in really good. So number 10, that was 9. Number 10 is zinc and magnesium. Those are the only things that will help speed up a cold to the end of it. If you didn't do all the preventative things and you want to get to the end of it faster, zinc and magnesium. And I feel a lot better day after I took that Turonha that had zinc and magnesium in it. So I know he's right about this. I know, because I feel so much better. I thought for sure I might be coughing up a bunch of stuff out of my lungs today. I did about 4 or 5 times yesterday. Today, once in the morning and never again. And I'm still like coughing a little bit, but I'm not as congested as I thought I'd be. So I need to go get some zinc and magnesium and speed it up a little. So number 10, that was number 10 was zinc and magnesium. I'm sorry, number 11. This is the last one. Now, this is super fun. Before you fall asleep and when you wake up in the morning, focus on your 8th chakra, which is 18 inches above your head. Just hold your attention on your 8th chakra. And now he's telling me, imagine like there's a sun 18 inches above your head, and just focus on the warmth and the loveliness of the sun. Oh, he said, actually, we forgot that, didn't we? I wrote it down and I don't know what happened. We talked about the sun. Oh, number 11 on prevention is, I don't know why. Okay, I'm sorry. On the prevention, we'll go back for a minute. The sunshine, go stand in the sun 10 to 20 minutes every single day in the wintertime. If you have red hair and light eyes, 10 minutes a day only. But if you have darker hair and darker skin, darker eyes, 20 minutes a day, every single day in the wintertime of sunshine. That will help prevent colds. And even when you're sick, go stand in the sun when you're strong enough. 10, 20 minutes in the sun in the wintertime. I'm on the equator. So on the equator, it's still the same, 3 to 5 minutes for redheads and 10 minutes for people with dark skin. That's all you need per day to get your maximum daily dose of vitamin D. Okay, and that is amazingly tied to your immune system. So as soon as God said the sun, he's like, wait a minute, we didn't do the sunshine part. It's like, wait a minute, we actually did not talk about that. So back to number 11 on the speeding it up if you do get sick. And actually, prevention too. Focus on your 8th chakra before you fall asleep and when you wake up in the morning. Imagine there's a big, healthy, bright, glowing, amazing sun that's going to keep you healthy at all times in your 8th chakra. Just focus on it. And also connect with your spiritual healing team. If you don't know how to do that, go look at the episode now that I did on your spiritual healing team, how to do that. So focus on that 8th chakra intently until you fall asleep every day. And keep yourself connected to your spiritual healing team and from the beginning of your illness until you are completely well. Then you can disconnect from them. The ones that you're supposed to stay connected to at all times, your holy guardian angel, your higher self, and God directly. And that includes Divine Mother and Heavenly Father, depending upon and in accordance to your personal spiritual beliefs. You can say the universe if that makes you feel better, or the word God, whatever, prime creator, whatever you think you're going to be the most comfortable with, because this is your life. It's your, health and wellness. So there it is, guys. There's other things, of course, that you could do to prevent, and also other things you could do to speed it up. We just want to go through like a little handful of herbs and a handful of aromatherapy. But there's more. There's always more. I mean, grapefruit essential oil is fun. Bergamot, is pleasant in tea. Earl Grey, There's different things you can do. This wasn't about the flu, but a lot of these things will apply towards the flu as well. Like stomach flu and whatnot. We didn't go over that. But the common cold is the thing. It's one of the hardest things to cure once you have it. So prevention is key, but if you didn't do all those things and you end up getting it, then you know what to do to speed it up faster. And what things have been prolonging it. What we thought this whole time, drinking vitamin C or vitamin C in orange juice, vitamin C is going to do jack for you after you're sick. Oh well. And then it just like prolongs it. Not the vitamin C part, but the sugar part. So just be careful. Be careful out there, guys. I hope this helped. I love you guys very much. Thank you for being on this ascension journey with me and for listening to the show. And a lot of you have been promoting this on Instagram. I want to say thank you for that. A couple of you did that just in the past 48 hours, actually. So thank you. And also for promoting this among your Facebook groups. It's really been helpful. I'm really grateful for all of that. Anyway, well, there you go. I need to sleep now because I'm still trying to get through it, and I'm going to look at the list and see what I got. I've been drinking orange tea, so that's been helping, and with stevia and or honey. Ran out of honey, so I got a few things to go get. Anyway, that's it. I'll be back tomorrow with all unique and original programming, just like always. And, well, that's all I gotta say about that. I'm gonna sign off now with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy 5th dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Do you ever wish you could look into the next chapter in your book of life and see what's coming next? What does the universe have in store for you? I can help you with that. I will give you a Celtic cross reading, which is 10 cards, or you can ask me 3 questions, and I use 3 cards per question. So that's 9 cards, or I can channel your higher guidance, or maybe God directly for you. Maybe you want to talk to your dear departed Aunt Edna, because maybe you have a few questions and she was the smartest person you knew. If your deceased relatives are available or your ascended masters, I can channel them for you personally. Let me have 1 hour to show you the future in your next chapter of your book of life. Readings are $75, and it takes me an hour to an hour and a half to complete. And for this price, you will also be hooked up to the healing grid around the planet for free, which means yours truly, me, I will be giving you Reiki 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the rest of your life. All you have to do is let me know. metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail.com, and we will explore your future together.